Calmness, 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 calmness. But how do we create this calmness? I am able to inform you that it has no correlation with the exercises that you engage in or perform. You can perform all the exercises you desire. It does not generate a sense of calmness. Calmness is not an exercise. Calmness is a chemical process. I will tell you how you can solve this, how you can make a calm dog. But when we talk about it needing to be calm, what is calm then? In my world, it's when she is well balanced, meaning that she is not under stress. It does not run on all this adrenaline and all this stuff that is contained within the engine. Calmness is not an exercise. You can engage in all the exercises you desire if you do not adequately reward and acknowledge them in the appropriate manner and with the necessary emphasis on their significance and impact. And that's what I want to tell you a little about. And I will give you the solution later in the video, not at the end. Later in the video, I will explain to you a bit about what you can do so that you can have a calm dog. So again, it doesn't matter if it's sit, stand, down, recall, or whatever it is you want to do with your dog, that it goes to agility. If you reward it, or acknowledge it, or reinforce it in the manner that you currently do, you will not be able to achieve a state of calmness in your dog. Due to the occurrence of a chemical process and the necessity of providing some information about it, it is undeniably the primary factor responsible for the situation. When we indicate it is a chemical process, it is not a joke. You desire a calm doggy. What you're doing is, then you can say, I train with positive reinforcement. I train with the latest evidence. Yes, positive maybe, but not the newest evidence, so you're not up to date. Because what will occur is when we creating a sense of happiness, we also need to have the feeling of happiness. What is happiness? Providing an alcoholic with a Scotch whiskey will grant him a feeling of joyfulness. But we know that the alcoholic doesn't need it. The junkie doesn't need methadone either. And then I just want to be a pusher. It's simply saying that you're a pusher. Until you give your dog this feeling of happiness from getting the ball, and it ramps up into stress. However, it cannot have both this and then obtain the calmness. It is another creation of happiness, and it is serotonin and oxytocin. I will explain to you about it in just a moment. I just need to explain what is happening first around this, like what you are doing now, and why you are not getting a calm dog. And it does not matter how many tricks you perform. It is the reward and acknowledgement in what you do, or the reinforcement and validation of your actions. And if you make use of this, make use of a bite sleeve, make use of high energy combined with learning along with dopamine, then you will be able to get a calm and well-behaved family dog. That's how it goes. Then you end up with a junkie dog, and you're the dealer. You're the dealer. You're the one who triggers. No, look, it's happy and joyful. Yeah, the junkie is too, when you become him. I don't know if you get it through pork, or you drink it, or what you do. Give him crack or methadone, then he's happy too. The alcoholic is happy with whiskey. The one with a sweet tooth, overweight, and wants to take care of herself, you give her cream puffs, she also becomes happy. It looks like that, yes. So it's not because your dog doesn't want to be happy. It may do so. You're just a pusher. And let me say it coldly. You don't have the relationship with your dog that you think that it works for me and with me. No, you are merely a pusher. It does not work for you or with you in any capacity. You're just the trigger, so I can get my methadone, my cigarette, my alcohol, my things and stuff. You are just the trigger. That's why you don't have the value. That's why you never get a calm family dog. Because you lack personal value. I can do the same with your dog. Let's put it briefly for agility. I can also do it because your dog learned. So it doesn't matter. Whether it's you, me, your kids, or spouse, it doesn't matter at all. Just the fact that there's a carton of cigarettes down at the other end, and I want to smoke. No, that's fine. Then it doesn't matter who says go. Then I'll run. It has nothing to do with me. It's fake. You're just a junkie, I should say. You're not a junkie. Your dog is a junkie. And you're the pusher giving it the junk. If we're going to take it all, I won't scold you always. I'm just trying to push it to the max for you. Why not get a calm family dog? I hear trainers who want that, and it's good. Simple, right? But then you damn well have to train it. That means reward with it, acknowledge with it, and reinforce with it. That is what you have to do. And now I will tell you the other when it is that we drive. I might as well say, let me just say first, dopamine possesses energy, facilitates new learning, and is equal to cortisol. Cortisol can accumulate in your body excessively, causing a highly stressed dog, which may ultimately become apathetic in its behavior. We only need cortisol in brief periods. For instance, in the morning when you wake up, the sun shines on your face and you get light in your eyes. Then you wake up and you have cortisol in your body. Then comes cortisol. Well, it's not negative. No, it's like an alert unit. You wake up. It goes all the way back to 100,000 years ago, back when our brain functioned. Hasn't evolved much, don't want to say it. We're still flat animals like our dogs. It says, I just woke up, danger at job. That's how you check if it's there, and then calmness returns. Cortisol vanishes in 10, 12 seconds. So that's the only time we should use cortisol. We shouldn't use it during training. We shouldn't use it in a way that makes me dependent on the ball, nicotine, alcohol, and all the other things. So what occurs there is that when you perform that action, you experience this negative cortisol that has an impact on you, and it's not working. Try to see. It wants me always. It's looking at me. Yeah, the addict does too. When will you discard that? When will you throw away that gum? When will you give me that junk? It's not working for you. It's not you it's working with. You're just the trigger, the pusher. So let's move on to two other things. And you can go ahead and write down all these things because it can be a bit difficult to keep track of, maybe. So we have pseudotonin, I've talked about that a lot, and oxytocin. But those two, those are the ones we need. And there is one thing that triggers this. And that's tryptophan. So imagine that tryptophan is a door. You can't produce tryptophan in your body. You can only obtain that through diet or supplements. So tryptophan is a necessary evil to have in the body, for serotonin to be released in the transmitters, and for oxytocin to also be released in the transmitters and continue. And you get this feeling of happiness. It's what's in... You also need to distinguish between the two, because it's very important that you understand what oxytocin is and what serotonin is, even though both are triggered by tryptophan, which when we acknowledge and reward, sacrifice and strengthen in a completely different way than what you do today. I will get to that, but first let me provide an explanation of the chemical process to you. If you need to lose weight, you can fast for an additional number of days, let's say a whole day, meaning you only consume water because you've heard that by doing so you won't intake any tryptophan in your body. And when you don't get tryptophan, you don't because you only get food, so it's simple, or dietary supplements and high proteins, right? If you don't grasp it, your patience will decrease. As time elapses, you grow more irritable. Yes, because the serotonin is blocked by the closed door, it cannot reach the tryptophan on the other side. So you, who want to take charge, it has nothing to do with dog training. Forget about that. It will not work. It is not going to work. All right then. However, what is it that contributes to this? That is the factor that serotonin, it's a feeling of happiness, a nice to have, and just write it down. Where I say that you train in that way, it is a must. It is dependent on the other. Not of serotonin, but of adrenaline and of amen, cortisol and all of these substances, and that you cast the bait. It is an indispensable item that you must have in your possession. I will go through fire and water in order to obtain it. Therefore, that implies she is not precisely an intelligent thinker. It just does it. If you throw this ball over a cliff, the dog will jump after it, because it's a junkie and wants to go after it. Go out and improve it. Aren't you going to do that, huh? Zeotonin is nice to have. And that's the whole difference. And nice to have says, well, I do like a low cake. But if I have to go through something bad to get it, then I won't take it, because I'm not dependent on low cake, or of the chompin, or of the ball, or of anything else. You see, that's what zeotonin does. It's that it says, and that's the big difference, it says, it's really cool to get it, but it's not a bad thing. And oxytocin, on the other hand, is the hormone that facilitates bonding between individuals. Listen, that is genuine bonding. and genuine bonding, true bonding, where the dog functions because of your true self and your authentic nature. Not because you have a ball, not because you are the trigger, not because you are, but because you are you. It comes, and that's what binds the oxytocin. And when you combine that with pseudotonin, you get a completely different chemical experience in your head. You're in for a nice ride here, as it could be cool. And it's cool that we're doing this together. Others say it's great we're getting rid of that. And I am addicted to it, or what do you term it? I rely on it, so I simply continue. The situation here is that if we persist like this, we will eventually attain our desired outcome. Not doing sit, stand, down, recall, and other things. Take all these tricks out. It doesn't matter what you do. It is not about that. It is about the method of reward. It is about the method of reward. And that's what we do in the RISA method. It's the reward method and the acknowledgement method. Acknowledgement and reward. Rewarding when we learn, acknowledging when they have learned it, and recognizing them for what they do. Then we use physical affection. And we do that for longer than 60 seconds at a time, because it triggers oxytocin and serotonin only after 6 seconds. When the dog performs a behavior correctly, we express our approval by petting the dog. We pet the dog. We give it a gentle massage as a reward for its accurate performance. Yes, quite simply, we manipulate it, because in doing so, the oxytocin is released within a span of just 6 seconds. It starts at 6 seconds, so you have to do that. I mean, you have to do it for that long, and otherwise, it is a bit like kissing. If you give your aunt a kiss, you know, an aunt kiss, funny enough, it takes a moment. But if you kiss your partner, and you kiss for longer than 6 seconds at a time, then it's a different kind of relationship you have, right? Hopefully, at least. And what makes all the difference is that oxytocin and serotonin come out there, and oxytocin, it makes you and I have a special bond. I want to do this because you are you, and I want to do it with you. But I don't want to kiss anyone, and your dog can't do stuff, you know. Alongside me, because it has created it alongside you. And that is the essence of the entire difference of who you are and why you exist in this world. So it is simple. Let us now take a truly excellent example. All of you who engage in small talk, who possess opinions and all of that, what is commonly referred to as the middle ground. It has numerous names, this firing. All of you perform agility. It is all right. Perhaps 4 of you do not. But you do. And you cannot understand why you cannot get the rooms. I just explained to you why you cannot. Why is that? And now imagine. You take this dumb ball. Now we just take a ball. It could be a chew toy. When training or lack of training, when heading to a competition and the dog needs to whip, you have to go through it and it enjoys it. That's what it does. But what do you think it's working for? You? It's working for this that you threw, right? Trash can at end. I need to go and get that junk. I need to go and get this cigarette. I need to get Coca-Cola. I need to get cream puff. I must have this. I'm totally addicted to it. It doesn't care if it's you or me who says go. That's not something you do. I can just point around and then you run through it and jump over it. That's it. It's not about you, Michael. She is employed by this organization. Envision at this moment that you accomplished a different task. You took that damn bucket away. You took that ball away. Of course, you also need to train it before it figures out that's actually what's nice. And it takes a little time, but that's okay. Imagine yourself running to where the bucket was in the end, because it requires to go and acquire its fix, and this fix, it is perfectly acceptable. If it's you, the cat jumps up in your lap here, and then you have the cat up here, and then you pet the cat, and you give the cat a massage. Remember to do it for longer than 6 seconds, preferably 10, 20. Oh, that's great. Keep it calm. So then there's serotonin in your dog's body, and what is it that's in antidepressants for humans? It inundates with serotonin, and it generates and fosters this profound sense of tranquility and serenity. That's what creates all the calmness, and nothing else. And oxytocin is just an extra factor that does it, because and then it's not certain that it wants to do it with me. It doesn't matter. Then you have a really personal relationship. That means you have a personal relationship. The other thing is you're just a pusher. That's not okay. You know what? That's what the whole Rezo method is about. It's about creating this calmness, and that's why we succeed week after week after week with many people in both our lounge, in our online universe, and people who train their dogs, where we teach them that they need to be physical with their dog in terms of petting and acknowledgement, and also with massage and all these things. That is what it is all about. It takes a considerable amount of time. Yes, it does. I have not made any promises to you yet. However, it takes time to establish relationships. Love is something you can't acquire with anything other than junk, Coca-Cola, and methadone. That is simply not what we require. I sincerely hope that you have something meaningful to contemplate. And if you happen to be a dog trainer who may be wondering, okay, what on earth is he talking about? I've become curious about it, so write to me. I'd like to talk to you about it, because it doesn't help that you continue with what you're doing out there, because you won't find peace, and you won't be able to help the customers out there find peace. You only do that by doing the opposite. But there are some techniques that need to be internalized. And the reward method, I say it many times, the acknowledgement method, that's what creates the calmness. That's all. So thank you for watching, and I hope you were patient enough to watch the entire duration of 16 minutes. Otherwise, please continue with what you were doing. Have a good day.